I want to turn over to my colleague Matt Gee, who leads BrightHive, which does data governance work, data sharing work, to talk about how they've been responding to COVID and changing some of the ways they've been interacting with their customers. So Matt, take us away. Share us what you're learning.
Great. Thanks, Andrew. And it's such a pleasure to be part of this Good Tech Fest and to learn from so many other leaders across the world in space. So since folks might not know, BrightHive is a data collaboration company, and our mission is to see society's disconnected data be responsibly linked and purposefully used as force for good. So what that means is in normal times, we spend all of our time helping groups of organizations figure out how to act collectively with their data. So we're kind of nerdy sandwich makers. We help folks build kind of data BLTs, the business, legal, and technical framework for responsible data sharing and governance. Back in late February, one of the groups that brought us to do some data BLT sandwich making included a set of health ministers. And I remember on that call, one of them said something along the lines of, the only way to resist this virus is to act collectively. And for me, when I heard that, it was the clarion call, for us at least, that we had to figure out how BrightHive could really step into this crisis and figure out how responsible data sharing and governance could really help save lives and livelihoods. Like, how can we do our part? And I know everyone in this community probably had a similar moment where they felt that. You know, we had a playbook for collective action with data that involved getting everyone together in the same room to talk about it, right? So that also meant that figuring out how we were going to contribute meant figuring out how we could do collective action at a distance. And what made that all the more difficult is that the organizations that we were working with were also undergoing this kind of accelerated digital transformation for how they could operate at a distance themselves. Bonus challenge, folks said, we need to figure out how to do data sharing, not just a matter of months, which was already accelerated for a lot of the government organizations that we were working with, but a matter of weeks. So how can we do data sharing faster, cheaper, and remotely without sacrificing any of the things that make data trustworthy? That was a challenge that I posed to the team. And you know, to the credit to the whole team and the great network of partners we've been able to work with over the last couple of months, they really came up with a great model of engagement called rapid response data trusts that allowed us to meet a variety of different needs, and have been able to deploy these rapid response data trusts in a whole host of contexts, helping communities respond to COVID-19. I'll share three. So first, social services. We were approached by a variety of communities and states saying, hey, we want to ensure essential workers like nurses have access to affordable childcare near them. And in order to do this, we need to pool data in real time from thousands of providers. And we can't do that right now. And so we were able to work with a network of partners, initially in Allegheny County and then the state of Texas, to deploy childcare rapid response data trusts that allow that data to be pooled and for individuals to connect with the resources they need. And now we're working with a national partner to be able to roll that out to every community that needs it nationwide. Second was in workforce. You know, we've all seen just the staggering impact on the economy that this has had and the record unemployment. And all the states that we've been working with for state level data trusts, you know, we're struggling with sharing data across agencies, with the networks of providers on the workforce retraining side, and needed data sharing that could help them reopen and then get individuals rehired and reskilled. And so we initially worked with the state of Colorado and their data trust to create their ability for all the job training programs in the state and the skills that they were being taught in those job training programs to be made available in the state's new rapid response site called Onward Colorado. And are now working with the network of partners to be able to deploy, again, that nationwide for every state that needs it. And then the last, we've had a number of partners, both nationally and internationally, come to us and say, there's no single story around around COVID-19 that I think better highlights Andrew's beautiful encapsulation of the renegotiation of our social contract around data than contact tracing, right? It is something where the goals that we have about privacy and rights around data seem to be in direct conflict with our goals around public health and how do we navigate and balance those. And so we've been engaged with a great network of partners, the Future of Privacy Forum, MIT, others, to establish a core set of ethical principles and guidelines for contact tracing data trust that ensure that data, if you're a state or a nation that is deploying a contact tracing app or working with a network of technology partners, the data that is used for meeting those public health goals really are governed in a transparent and accountable way, and destroyed as soon as the crisis passes. So those are kind of 3 examples of how our rapid response data trusts are helping out.
Yeah, I was actually going to ask your thoughts on, almost some of what, Andrew was talking about, Zee was talking about, like the norms that we set now are going to be in place potentially for some period of time. Like one of the things that I know BrightHive thinks a lot about is like the ethical and responsible use of data. What are maybe some of the things that concern you that you're seeing right now? And what are some of the things that give you hope and how we're thinking about these issues in the midst of this crisis?
Yeah, both like the promise and the peril. I think one of the things that concerns me is that, and we've seen this actually, the amount that we've had to push back with some of the technology partners saying, look, we know in normal times your business model is to monetize this data, but because you're pivoting to meet the need and provide your technology in this context, you also have to pivot your how you think about the responsible use and governance of this data and ownership. And that ownership conversation has to shift. The amount of resistance to that by some of these both startups and major technology platforms saying willingness to renegotiate that social contract around data, I think has been a little unsettling. But on the positive side, I think one of the great things is the set of both on the technology side and the civil liberties side, folks who are stepping into that kind of void of leadership and saying, no, we can do this a different way. And we're not going to let this crisis go to waste, and use this really as a moment to rebalance power in meaningful ways around data. I think that is, to me, gives me hope every day, and we see it in so many of the partnerships that we're seeing formed.
Awesome, thanks, Matt. Where can people go? I got a couple questions here on like where people can learn more about the playbook and the work that you're doing. Where can you direct them to learn more?
Great, yeah. So you can go to brighthive.io, sign up there. Also, all of our stuff is on Creative Commons on our GitHub repo. Rapid Response Data Trusts are available there, and we'll be releasing with several of the other partners I mentioned, Creative Commons playbooks for workforce rapid response, contact tracing rapid response, social services, and a couple more in the next several weeks through our site and through some of the other partner channels. So you can go to our website and sign up there.
Awesome. Thanks, Matt.